All right, good afternoon, everyone. The time is now 2:02 on Monday afternoon, June 19th, 2023, for the Board of Condemnation Blight meeting. In attendance for us is myself, Phil Higgins.
Sands Cleary, Fairfield Health Department.
Pat Mahoney, Building Department.
And as we go around the room, some guests today in attendance at our meeting is?
Matt Decker, Zoning Officer.
Tom Pons with the Fire Marshal's Office.
And finally?
Ginger Moore, 57 Rockridge Road.
Good afternoon, Ginger. Okay.
On the phone.
And on the phone, please, identify.
Anyone who likes to identify.
Tim Brewer.
Greg Miller.
Greg Miller, and the first one was Tim.
Tim Brewer, yes.
Tim Brewer.
And Tim, if I may, can I just ask which project you're calling in about?
Well, I live in Fairfield. I was considering the Gould Ave.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you so much.
So I'll make a motion that we waive the typical order of the agenda in favor of those present and on the line.
I'll second. All in favor?
Aye.
All right.
All right, so...
Would you like to start with
yeah, so that
those
is
in attendance,
57
please?
Rockridge.
Yep.
Okay.
Ginger Moore.
All right.
M-O-R-E.
Ginger, would you like to provide any kind of update for us?
Well, the two brothers that inherit the estate have been working on it pretty consistently, and one of them's really doing a very good job of cleaning up. Did you go?
I did. I was able to get there today and saw that, there's a lot of cleanup. There's a trailer full of debris that they said they're about to take down to the dump. They got rid of one car, I believe, already, and have cleaned up a bunch of the stuff and said they're on their way so they're making progress. The door's been repaired, the windows have been repaired. So I would say they're making progress. They've communicated with Matt Decker. They've communicated with me several times. Ginger's communicated with me several times. So I would say just carry it over till the next month and see what the progress is then.
Sounds great.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right.
Do you know when the next month's meeting is?
It's the third Monday in July at 2 o'clock in this room. Same place. Always 2 o'clock, third Monday, unless that is a holiday, and then we go to the 4th.
Yeah, today was a federal holiday, by the way.
Oh, yeah, apparently not in Fairfield, so.
Not for us.
I just want to
Not
find
yet.
out what happened. This appeared Saturday night on my door, and it's from the town of Fairfield. But when I went to the post office to get it this morning, no one was there. It's a federal holiday.
Oh, okay. So this is just the, most likely, the notice of determination from the previous meeting that you attended. That basically said it met the criteria for blight and that we're giving you 30 days to correct it, and so.
Okay, so they have another 30 days?
Yeah, yeah. So you have until the next meeting that, and again, as I've said, as long as we see progress, I think everybody's satisfied that it's a big job. It's not going to happen overnight, and, that progress is being made, and we're happy with that.
Good.
Okay?
Okay.
Did you want to add anything as well? We kind of just finished up.
That's fine.
Okay.
It was going to be quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you saw it, you saw the progress being made,
Sure.
and we'll continue on.
Keep moving forward. You're doing what you can.
Exactly.
And for the minutes, your name again?
Michael.
McMillan. McMillan, right?
McMillan.
All right.
Can I add something?
Sure.
Just the status of the backhoe.
No status yet on the backhoe. I got to get the thing running.
Okay.
Then we're going to be doing some work at the house, leveling some ground, taking some stumps out, that kind of stuff. Once all that's done, then we'll move it into my place.
You're going to level it how?
We'll start at one side of the house.
You're going to flatten it, or you're going to bring fill in?
No filling. We're going to use what we got.
All right.
Basically just digging up the tree stumps that have been cut, but they still hang out about yay high.
Okay.
We'll get all that cleaned up. And on the side of the house where there was a mound of dirt, sort of right where you're turning towards the garage, there's that whole thing. We want to get that all nice and level.
The only thing you want to, well, not the only thing, but one you want to be concerned with is any type of runoff for water to avoid it, A, going out into the public right away, and B, going to your neighbors.
Yeah.
All right. So I don't know how far it is.
It's my father taking a mound of dirt and threw it there, and so we cleaned up.
Just a couple wheelbarrows.
and then we just wanna level all that out, and it'll be easier with the backhoe to just smooth it out really nice.
And the, registered/unregistered vehicles, how are we doing with those?
So, 2 of them are disappearing.
Okay.
We're hoping to sell it, everything,
Sure.
all of them, but the 2 that are rusted, they're gonna be either sold for the engines or just scrapped.
Okay.
And we're trying to decide that today, what we wanna do with it. This week, we'll probably be doing another dump run. We got the trailer, you saw the trailer's full of
Heard about
stuff,
that,
so
yeah.
that's going to the dump.
Great.
And then, then I'll rent the U-Haul and the car carrier.
If you could just update me on at the next meeting,
Yeah.
status on those things, that'd be great.
But the backhoe will probably take a while, just because we
Understand.
wanna get that
Sure.
all done before I
As
move.
long as we got a plan for the end of the day, I'm good.
All right.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
All right. Thanks, folks.
Sir, would you like to identify yourself?
Cliff.
Yeah, I was, Cliff.
Thank you.
All right.
All right.
2 seconds that I missed it.
Yeah.
As long as there's forward progress.
All right, and then we have, Mr. Miller on the phone, regarding, 20 Morehouse and 83 Morehouse.
Yes, sir. Mr. Miller, how are you, sir?
I'm fine, how are you?
Very well.
So
So, you wanna go,
20 Morehouse is in a similar state. It looks like, I peeked in the backyard, and he was able to clear, about a third of it is free from debris, and mowed, so he's making progress, but he's still being fined. And then for 83 Morehouse, the roof has been repaired, on both structures, and, I would, make a motion that one is complied with our request.
I would second that. Any discussion?
Can I, ask 6 questions about 83 Morehouse Highway?
You may.
Go ahead, Mr. Miller.
One at a time or all at the same time?
Why don't we start with one at a time?
Okay, for the sheds in the back, 'cause I think you guys just said you're going to, take that off, you're gonna take 83 off Blight?
That's the motion before us right now, that's being discussed right now.
Okay, so the sheds in the back, the new wood has not been painted, gutters were not reinstalled, visible damage to the exterior of both the sheds caused by the roof failure and neglect hasn't been cleaned up. Was the work inspected by the town, both the inside and the outside?
They have not called for an inspection yet.
So they have not called for an inspection yet. The other issues, there's no requirement for us in terms of the painting of the wood. When you're saying there's debris from the installation of the new roof, can you be more specific on that, what you're talking about?
I never said debris. I was
Okay,
just talking about the wood that was, that they replaced has not been painted or primed or anything, so it's probably just gonna rot very shortly, and the visible damage to both sides of the sheds from the damage. I'm sorry, not debris, the visible damage.
I thought you mentioned debris from the work, okay.
No, I didn't say debris.
I walked out there, I was focused on the roof repairs. I didn't notice any damage to the other parts of the structure from those repairs. But again, if building department is gonna go out and do a final inspection on it, we'll take a look and see if there's anything that's a violation.
Well, we don't inspect paint or any of that.
But yeah, paint and painting of wood is not something that falls within the purview of this board.
So it's not required to paint raw wood once it's installed to correct the damage.
There's nothing in the blight ordinance that says bare wood has to be painted. I can, we have the building official here, I don't know, is there anything that says that the wood has to be
Not
painted?
that I'm aware of, that we
Okay.
can't enforce them to paint. They can, and we're gonna we got the permit here, they'll have to call us, we'll go do an inspection around the roofs, and that's what
Okay.
it's for.
So maybe we should, maybe I'll withdraw my motion,
And we'll,
and pending a building inspection.
so the contractor was, I don't know whoever the contractor, but maybe we can contact them and have them just set it up with us, and we'll go out and do a final inspection.
Okay.
Did you inspect the inside of, or did somebody inspect the inside of the building as well as the outside, or there's been
Mr.
no?
Miller, we didn't do any inspection yet. We don't do an inspection until we're called. We're not gonna go on a property until they call us for inspection.
So, I mean, regarding the blight is about the exterior of the building, okay? And so we did inspections related to the blight. They reinstalled a new roof, they made some repairs to both structures so that the roof has integrity and there's no openings into the structure. Regarding blight, we're not looking at it from a building department point of view, but we'll, as we said, we'll have the building department take a look at it.
Well, I would appreciate that, and plus there was no gutter reinstalled. And I don't know if that's a requirement underneath a permit. There was a gutter there before.
Yeah.
They don't have to have a gutter. It's a detached structure. It's a shed. It's not,
Yeah, so it's not a requirement.
Okay.
I am also going to just mention that, it's blight, and we're here for blight only, and I think it's a separation between blight and building department inspections as well, so.
All right, so can we, or can you work with building inspection and blight to look at this?
Yeah,
I think that's what we said we would do. The building department is.
once we get a request for an inspection, we will schedule it with my department, and we will go out and do an inspection on the roof and the repairs.
so in regards to the motion that's currently here, the motion was to remove this property from blight.
Technically, it's complied with the blight ordinance.
Then,
I don't know if Mr. Miller has any more questions.
Okay.
I have 4 more questions, but if you guys don't have time, I understand.
we have
No,
time.
we have time.
Okay, so my question number 2 was there's a non-functioning gas grill still in the backyard that should have been removed, and a doghouse in the front yard.
Mr. Miller, how do you know it's not working?
Leaves and garbage and bugs.
Again, these are issues that don't fall within blight. A home is allowed to have a gas grill, a home is allowed to have a doghouse. You're allowed to have both of those, in the same way that property owner is allowed to have it.
Okay, then question number 3, on my original complaint back in November 22nd, was that there was excessive moss on the roof of the main house, and it's thick and most likely causing structural damage. The shingles are thin and barely showing. It's probably not even safe for anybody to walk up there and clean off this 2 inches of moss from the roof. And that was item 3 on my original complaint, and that hasn't been addressed.
Okay, so we rely on, we have the building official here, and if there was a suspicion of structural damage, that his expertise would fall within that regard. The presence of that moss on the roof is in and of itself isn't a violation of our blight ordinance. So we can't require them to remove it. If there was evidence of structural damage, then I think the expertise on the board would have picked that up. But I don't believe that was determined.
No.
Mr. Miller,
Was it looked at?
Mr. Miller, Phil here. I'm currently looking at your complaint dated 11/14, and the 3 items that were checked off were collapsing and missing walls, roof, infestation of rodents and pests, excessive amounts of garbage or trash on the property. There's absolutely no mention of any moss being on a roof. And it also has a blank line where it says, please provide any further descriptions if desired. unless you have something other than what I just read off.
I have an email from Andrea Flynn, which I have 5 items, and that was dated November 14th. Number 3 was excessive moss on the main house roof, possibly leading to unsafe conditions. And that was sent to her with pictures, and she said she received them. I have all the photos, and will keep them with the complaint to be due to a meeting on 11/21/22.
As we said, the excessive moss doesn't represent a blight violation, and the building official is here. He hasn't raised any concerns regarding structural integrity of the roof. And so
But if you didn't look at it, then I guess I'm missing the point. I'm sorry.
The building official conducted an inspection of the property in response to your complaint and looked at the issues, and he does not agree with your assessment that the roof is structurally compromised. Is that correct?
I don't think the moss is compromising them, and we can't get, we're not in the house. I don't see anything visible that I can see that is compromising the structure. It may not be appeasing to the eye, but it's not structural.
Okay, next question, sir?
No. There's so much moss on the front of that house, on the roof. And what I noticed today was there's thousands of ants swarming around all that moss. And I just observed that today, this morning, 2 hours ago.
Okay. Anything else, sir?
No, that's it.
All right, so the motion on the table is to still remove number 83 Morehouse from condemnation and blight. Do I have a?
We have a motion.
We have a motion, we have a second.
And we all had in
those,
favor.
yep, all those in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion passes.
All right, and then, Mr. Rulin was
Mr. Rula?
here to talk about 40 Gould. And so, I mean, my understanding, 40 Gould has an active permit, and I drove by on Friday and it looked like they were actively working there, setting up forms, I believe.
They're totally within their scope. They have a permit,
And work is being done?
and they are in progress as far as I know. We haven't,
Yeah, there was progress from the last 2 inspections I did. There was progress. They, finished putting the helical things in, and then there was some forms.
They have permits, 2 permits for duplex, 42 and 40, new construction.
Okay.
All right.
It's ongoing.
Mr. Brulin, do you have any questions regarding that?
Tim, are
I'm
you
sorry,
still on the
did you
line?
say Mr. Miller?
No, Tim.
Tim?
Oh, no, thank you. No, I was sorry, stepped away. Thanks, that's good.
Okay. And I would make a motion, since it's, there's nothing there that meets blight criteria right now. It's an active construction site.
Correct.
I'd make a motion that we remove it.
I second.
Okay. Any discussion on the matter? Hearing none. All those in favor? Aye. All right.
Now we can
A
resume.
motion, I don't think we even
Nope,
need a
we just
motion.
resume back to
Let's
the
go
regular
back to, regular business here. Approval of minutes for May 15th, 2023.
Make a motion to approve them?
Second.
Any correspondence? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Any new communications?
Not other than what's in the agenda.
Yep, okay. Number 4, condemnation old business. Any new updates in regards to?
So I did speak with the attorney for Mr. Wisniewski regarding 92 Grassmere. They are working with an interested buyer. They are trying to, they plan to submit a request for a reduction in the fines to the town attorney. So that's their plan. They do not have a closing date as of yet, but they are working with an interested buyer and moving forward that. But that's Attorney Rizzio.
Okay.
For a demo, I think, right?
And the plan is to demolish, yeah.
Okay. I don't see a reason why we should take any action on it. Old
Okay.
business. Leave it on?
Yep, leave it
Okay.
on until it's taken down.
Okay. And it sounds like it's in the attorney's.
Yep.
So, 346 Wakeman?
Yeah, so 346 Wakeman, this was an issue that was deferred to the health department because it was really about rodents. So that issue has been addressed and is being worked on. The other issue that came up was there's a dead tree that has a portion of it that's dead. The very top portion that's, probably 60 or 70 feet up in the air. And so I spoke with the homeowner today, and she's more than willing to have it taken down, and is going to be working on that. So I said, we'll have a hearing next month about it, but she said she'll be working on it prior to that. So we'll have a hearing, and it basically falls under the unfit structures ordinance.
Okay. Shall we leave it on and
Yep.
make the determination next month?
Yep.
Prior to, hopefully. Okay. New business, 636 High Street.
So we received a complaint about, debris in the yard, being unsightly. And so I don't know if you guys had a chance to see it, but it's basically an instance where it's a side yard. And so you're and there's no fence right on the corner of High Street. And I think it's, what's the one with the funny name?
Yeah.
That goes behind the fire station up there.
Ricosi?
Ricosi, yeah. So that, on the corner of that, so you're basically looking into what is their backyard.
Mm-hmm.
They have a lawn furniture, they have a table with chairs, they have a pile of wood, they have a pile of sticks right down by towards the Ricosi side with a couple boards in it, which is unsightly, but I don't feel it meets the criteria for blight. So I did send a notice of complaint to the owner, just to make the owner aware that somebody complained about it, and hopefully that'll motivate him, but I don't feel it meets the criteria.
Okay.
So, excuse me.
I've left Phil speechless, apparently.
Yeah. Should we leave it on?
I don't think it meets the criteria, so I don't think we should leave it on.
Make a motion to do.
Yep. Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay. You want me to take over for a bit, Phil?
Let's see. Old business blight ordinance. Number 1, 400 Bronson.
So there doesn't appear to be any progress on that. I know, did you guys get involved in that? Skip here?
Yep, I sent actually 3 certified letters. The first 2 came back unopened.
Okay.
And I'm waiting to see if the third one gets open. His fellow's name is Alex Moses.
Okay.
He lives in, I'm gonna say Stratford, if I remember correctly.
Okay.
But nothing has come about that yet.
Yeah, so it looks like our mail has come back unclaimed as well.
Right. We did that with ours at both locations. One location doesn't have a house at it, but.
Yeah, so our option here is, we're required to send to the address on record with the town.
Mhm.
So that's our obligation.
Bronson Road?
Yeah.
Well,
No,
the ownership, so
yeah,
that was
Stratford.
Wakely Ave in
Yes.
Stratford.
Yep.
And so.
That's where I sent mine as well.
Yep, and so that's our obligation. So we can choose to move to citation if people feel they want to do. Since the owner is ignoring us, and not claiming the letters, we can move to citation if you feel it appropriate, or we can,
Thing's been there a long time.
yeah, we can try to make contact again, but looks like we sent 2 letters that both came back.
You sent 2, I sent 2.
Total of 4 coming from the town.
I think we move ahead.
Okay.
It's been a while. You want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion that we proceed.
With a citation,
Citation.
all right?
Do I have a second on the matter?
I'll second it.
Any further discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right. 155 Granville.
Today is a hearing for 155 Granville. That's the red house on Granville with siding missing. And they have multiple broken windows. So I would make a motion that it meets the criteria for blight with significantly damaged siding and multiple missing broken or boarded up windows. These are just broken at this point. And so there wasn't a crew out there, looked like actively working today on the property, but I think it meets the criteria, so I'll make a motion that it meets the criteria.
I second.
Any further discussion?
That we, basically send them a notice of determination that outlines the actions to correct, which is repair the siding and the windows.
Correct. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right.
Okay?
Number 92, Grassmere, we kind of already discussed, so I think we'll just move on. Number 4, 333 Grassmere Avenue, Handy and Harmon.
I inspected on Friday, and they cleaned all the debris along the fence line, so I would make a motion to remove this from the, that they've complied with our request.
Okay.
Second the motion.
Any discussion?
I mean, in addition, I would say they cleaned the lot, they secured the buildings, they painted
did
up
what
the
we-
graffiti, then the last thing was just cleaning up the garbage along the fence line.
It sounds like they did everything they needed to do.
Okay?
All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we already talked about these. Go down to 750 Post Road.
Yep.
The former-
Permits are issued, they're working, everything's proceeding, we're doing inspections. I say we can remove them. I would say that.
You're making a motion?
I make a motion that we remove them.
I'll second that.
Any discussion? I will only throw out that it's a current construction site, so
Yeah,
it's
and
going
they're
to be.
active, I mean,
They're
it's not
active,
like they've
they're
stopped.
moving ahead.
Yep. All right. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, we already talked about Rockridge. Number 10, 60 Steep Hill Road.
I'll make a motion that they have complied with our request. They cleaned up the front yard, the side yard, and the pile of debris down by the street. They got rid of 3 vehicles. And so I make a motion that they've complied with our request and to remove them from the agenda.
Second.
Any further discussion?
They got rid of all the animals too, correct?
Animal control took all the animals.
Yeah, we
Right? Good,
Yeah.
yeah.
All right,
That
hearing.
was my concern.
Yep. Hearing no further discussion, all those in favor?
Aye.
All right. Number 11, 222 Stilson Road.
I did reach out to Mr. Vimini. He did have somebody go out and close the windows. He wants to leave ones that you can't get at, like they're kind of like at a second floor level from the ground, open, but with screens up to just allow ventilation in the house. He said, it looked like the roof was sagging again, but he sent somebody out there and said that, that repair they did is good for now. The plan is to take the building down, and, it looked like it was starting to fail. It's really hard to see, but that when I looked at it, I could see it's intact, but it has a little bit of a sag in it, but he indicated that was there before. So, I sent him an email today for an update. I talked to the zoning director. He hasn't submitted anything to planning and zoning or inland wetlands that he's aware of.
This is the corner property, the Ross property?
This is the one
Right next to the Oaks, I believe it is.
in between the
red
oaks,
house there. I'm
in
sorry,
between the
no.
oaks and the
I haven't seen
medical
anything
building.
yet, yeah, I haven't seen anything yet.
Yeah,
Within 2 months.
Wrong side of the building, sorry.
Yeah. So that's the plan, is to submit to inland wetlands to get approval to do what they need to do there, which is, I think they're knocking it down and
They
building.
would go first, so
Yeah.
you confirm that they don't have anything, or?
Again, I'd happened to talk to Jim about it. He said he didn't see anything, but I did email Mr. Vimini for an update this morning, but I have not received anything as of yet.
Okay, so,
And like I said, he's active, he's correcting things we ask, so I would keep it on for another month.
just leave it on for another?
Yep.
All right. Number 12, 280 Tuckahoe, same owner is above 92 Grassmere. I don't know if there's any plans in regards to adding these two together, or if it was only
They
one
only
property?
mentioned the 92
Okay.
Grassmere.
And the town attorney's on.
And the
Yep.
town attorney's working on
And
foreclosing.
he's been on for a while, so I'd make a recommendation, just leave him.
Yep.
146 Wheeler Park,
Upon consultation with the town attorney, he said the town has a right to go and secure the garage, so I went and secured the garage with a padlock, put a note on it that said, call the health department, if you need to get in. And so, but the only thing I would do, and if Mr. Decker is agreeable, there is one car that's sitting on the property, inoperative unregistered vehicle there.
That's not the one you sent me an email on just earlier.
No, that's a different one. That's a different one.
Right. Yeah, I can send them, I can,
Okay.
146 it is?
146 Wheeler Park.
Okay.
And so, but it's taxes sent letters, we've sent letters, there's no response, they just ignore us. But it's just really the only thing that meets blight there is really the garage was unsecured, providing access to an interior space. So that's secured now, so I'd like to make a motion to take it off the agenda as long as zoning is willing to
If you don't
pursue
mind, just send me an
the car.
email to
Yep.
remind me, I'm happy to
Okay.
send them a violation for
Yep.
unregistered vehicle.
When was the lock put on?
Today.
Today? Okay. So the motion is to remove effective as today?
Property secured now, that was our,
Okay.
I second the motion.
Okay, sorry, any discussion? Mine was just, we're gonna stop fining as of today?
We started finding 11/21.
Right.
okay.
Now that the building's secure, can we?
I think we can, you know, before we secured it, I wanted to get the okay from the town attorney, and he said he felt it was the responsibility of the town to secure it, and that we should move ahead, so I secured it, and I think that would be the best at this point to, you know, end things, you know, and end the fines.
Okay, I just wanted to make sure that, okay, everything's all together, it's secured, and the fines are terminated effective today upon this motion. So, any other discussion? No? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Blight ordinance, new business or complaints, 167 Francis.
So 167 Francis is the property right on the corner, and I can see nothing there that meets the blight criteria on that property. There was so I think this may be an error, 167 Francis. I don't see a complaint that we received for 167 Francis,
Okay.
but it may be confusion with 168 Bungalow Drive, which is right next door.
Okay.
But I looked at 167 Francis. I don't see anything there. It's a beautiful, clean, well-maintained property. I don't see anything there that meets the criteria. And I'll address 168 Bungalow, which I think is probably what was meant to be put there, because it sits on the
168, Christina, 168 Bungalow,
yeah.
and it's 167 Grenville. Neither of those have a Francis Street address.
167 Granville.
According to what I see.
But Francis is the bottom of the leg?
Yeah, that's correct.
The bottom of the
one
leg.
is 167, if you tell me that Google says that's 167
Granville.
Granville Street.
Okay, so I think there's some confusion here, but I want to address, if it's 167 Granville, there's nothing, I didn't see any issues with blight there. 168 Bungalow, which pictures were submitted with the car on it, that's the one I emailed Matt about, so the pictures were submitted, this car's been sitting there, it's out of, I ran the plate with DMV, it's expired back in November, and there's a modest amount of stuff in the yard. You know, there's a shed with a
Probably meant,
there,
Probably
and then there's
meant
a
to be
side
the
yard
address.
there, which has a few items there, but I don't think it rises to the level, most of it is chairs and lawn furniture, so I don't think it meets the criteria for blight. As long as Mr. Decker's willing to take up the car issue there, I think we refer that to them and state that this doesn't meet the criteria for
I
blight.
got the email on that one.
okay. Do we need a motion?
I don't think we need a motion.
Not on,
If we
not on,
determine that it's
right,
not-
not on.
Never been brought.
So, okay. The next, 301 Katona?
So 301 Katona has a couple large black bags of garbage laying around the property, has some bikes and shovels and debris around the back. It's got, I don't think, the complaint alleged,
Is this the one that was on before?
No, it's down the stroke. So it's collapsing and missing walls or roof. So here's the tricky thing with this one and why we may want to consider this. This house has, there's like 2 or 3 shingles missing. So I don't think that meets the criteria for, collapsing or missing walls and roof. I'm just trying to pull up a picture of it. Where is this? Boy, I can't find it here. I'm not sure why it's not there. So, it has some garbage and debris. This is the side of the stairs, and this is why I thought I would have you guys look at it. So from the side of the stairs, that's the front steps, has a big...
Yeah, it's definitely a
Big hole?
Big hole where there's like several blocks missing,
yeah.
and it's kind of tilting away from the house, and I feel like there is some structural compromise there.
Sure, that could come down.
Yeah.
I think we need to address that.
And so, and in that, there's enough of, just big black garbage bags kind of sitting around the yard, that I think, we should probably, address that, have them clean it up a little bit. So I would say, I'd make a motion that we have a hearing next month, send them a notice of hearing.
I'll second. All those
Aye.
any discussion? No, all those in favor?
Aye.
93 Mills Paw Drive?
93 Mills Paw, I met with the owner today, at the property. There is like a front window with some plastic on it, but when he said it's actually just for drafts, and so we tapped it, there's a window there. There's one window missing one pane, which he has sort of a temporary fix up there, but he says, I have the glass fell on the lawn, I have it, I can go put it back in from the inside, but he says, he's too old to do ladders. The paint, the house obviously needs a paint job, but that's not what we cover. The dead tree, I think it alleged inoperative cars in the driveway. I did not see any inoperative cars. He started up the old car that was there. He started it right up, and I have all the license plates. I'll check them, but I don't think at this point it meets the criteria for blight. I think there's something else going on here in terms of the issue.
Angry.
Okay.
So I don't think it meets the criteria for blight. It's my personal opinion. I don't. Pat, you agree with that?
Yeah.
I do.
There's a moderate amount of stuff outside, but nothing that
I would agree.
isn't allowable.
No.
Okay.
All right. 880 Stilson Road?
I did walk the whole property. It is an old 18th. There was a work truck there. I did try to contact the numbers. But there's nothing I can see. There's nothing broken, nothing.
The window in front.
The one window had a slight.
Yeah. So
I did try to reach out to contact.
you call that 800 number on the front?
And Jackie in First Select Woman's office actually had a number too. We called. I have not heard anything back.
Okay, so you're already trying to make them aware of the complaint. Okay.
I'm trying to clear this up to see.
The last time we've seen this was, I believe it was kind of a combination building along with safety because of the front wall. If I recall, having the school located
That's
next
what it was.
door.
Somebody from the school called. I walked the whole property. I seen that little partial window. That was the only thing. There was a phone company truck there last week. I drove by, saw it there, but
Yeah.
So we are trying to find out.
So I think we'll continue those efforts to reach out. I don't know if it rises to the level of blight with one broken
I think
window.
it's just an eyesore because it's right next to the school.
They don't
look
cut
at
it.
every day.
They don't cut it. And there used to be a couple branches that kind of fell and partially blocked the sidewalk that started that initial complaint.
So, okay, we'll leave it on and,
I think we'll leave it on, and you, it seems like you've been
Yeah,
reaching out and working with the selectman's office to correct it.
all right. Any other business before us today? Any other business before us? Okay,
none.
the time is now 2:42. Motion for adjournment?
Make a motion?
Second?
Discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, we have to